He leaked. Yeah, they were charged with company espionage and resulted in trillions of losses in Korean won.
Yeah, I don't know. I have such a hard time with it sucks because I'm sure a lot of that tech is newer and they had to put a lot of research into it. But there's no other competition. I don't know.
I'll be completely honest with you. It sucks for Samsung, but they can
I mean, I agree with that because at the end of the day, you know. Welcome back to Off the Console, the hottest new podcast that's all about gaming, tech news, and anything nerdy. This week, we're covering the biggest news, including the Steam hardware news and, you know, little tidbits of maybe Steam Machine stuff we'll be talking about. We have Epic Games Store still sucks, and Xbox is just going a weird route. So we have a lot of good news for you this week, but unfortunately, some bad news. Gardner, he's not able to make it. He's making it fine. He's he's doing some work that he had to get done, some emergency work today, and so he's doing fine. From my understanding, but he's not going to make it. So, but we've got High Tech and we got me, and so we're going to be reining in some good news this week, right? Hopefully, I don't know.
I hope so. Yeah, we're recording this a little later than usual.
Yeah. It's I feel like every week this year is something different and something weird. 2026 is gearing up to be a weird year. So, with that being said, what have you been doing this week, High Tech? What have you been playing?
Well, I got a new toy to play with. Some call it the Ein Thor. And so I've been messing around with that, trying out a bunch of Steam games, emulating all that cool stuff.
How's
yeah.
How are you liking it?
So far I'm really liking it, but I am noticing some input lag for like Super Nintendo games. I'm trying to figure out how to resolve that. It's with with RetroArch. So I'm trying to figure out that issue because input lag is a no-no for me. But there's no whole lot of input lag for like regular games, like Android games, or even like the PC, like the Steam games that you can like.
Yeah, then there might be a timing issue. It might be something tied to the clock, like the CPU clock. You might want to look into on the emulator. I've noticed that some devices that it doesn't handle it properly. So
I'll need to look into it, but yeah, so far it's been a good experience. I just need to fix that input lag issue, and then we'll be good.
That's why you got to have a device for each. So you have like a mobile device for your Super Nintendo games. You have a mobile device for your N64, whatever it is. I don't.
Man, I don't know how Russ can juggle like a million different retro devices.
I'm pretty content with just using my main computer and my Steam Deck or whatever I have on hand. I get pretty tired of
I get it. I do like that it's actually pocketable.
Yeah.
It's like no bigger than like the size of an original DS. If you
Is it really that small?
How big those were?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's about the size of like a regular old. It's about the thickness too of like the regular DS, like the original fat one.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like the same footprint, to be honest. You know, minus the like triggers being a little out there, but I can live with it.
Yeah.
It's still very pocketable.
I have an iNote and it's pretty small. It can be pretty pocketable. What I want potentially is to get like a flip device. Maybe that will be my emulator, is like a flip device for older games that, you know, it has like a 4:3 screen ratio, everything. It's just on the, like, that might be the way I will go in the future, and there's lots of options for that. So, yeah. Oh yeah,
for sure.
Like I definitely get tired of playing my games on this, like the older games on the Steam Deck sometimes, because
like
it's more fun if you have something that you can like on the go and just whip it out and play something older, as opposed to trying to carry the Steam Deck everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing with my day job.
Yeah,
bringing it with me. The Steam Deck, I could bring that with me, but like I don't want to.
Yeah, For like flying, if I'm going on a trip, Steam Deck or I've been using Legion Go 2, which I thought I was going to sell it because I'm like, okay, I like this, but it's a little redundant. And then just every time I use it, the screen is so nice. That Legion Go 2 screen is so nice. It is
I can imagine.
Beautiful. It's so expensive though. But I'm
oh yeah, the Thor has twin OLEDs, and one of them goes up to 120 hertz, which is pretty nice too.
That is actually really nice. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, enough about me. What about you?
What have I been playing this week? I've been messing around with Godot some more. I kind of want to see if I can get it to be my game engine. I'd have to do a lot of porting over, but I'm fine with that. Epic Games Epic Engine doesn't run well on Mac or Linux, and so I'd rather use because I'm trying to get away from Windows. I'm just really tired of Windows. Just always having issues, and so I'd prefer to try to navigate, move over to Linux to or Mac. Mac just runs everything I need to really well for my day job, so I prefer not to context switch. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying Godot. I'm writing some custom stuff for it. Hopefully, I can get the fidelity I want. It won't be as easy as Epic Games, but it's not as bloated, or not Epic Games, but the Epic engine. So yeah, no, the Unreal Engine, whatever I'm saying. It's still early here. I have excuses. And yeah, I still have like Outer Worlds 2 to finish. I stopped at one point. I just haven't picked it back up. I'm still in vacation mode here. Yeah, man, I'm just getting ready for Resident Evil. I'll be honest. The new Resident Evil Requiem game is looking badass. I think it's like considered Resident Evil 9.
Yeah, it's
I'm really excited for it. I pre-ordered it already. I have everything set up. I'm ready to play as a grumpier Leon. I get his energy, so I'm 100% ready for this. You're not High Tech. You're not the biggest Resident Evil fan, right?
I mean, I've
played some of them.
Games. I'm not like a super fan.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not the biggest fan. You've played a few, but you haven't played all. I've beaten every Resident Evil game except for Revelations. I haven't beat I just have a hard time getting into Revelations 1 and 2. They're just not good, in my opinion. But besides that,
yeah. I mean, they're generally good games.
Well, especially the remakes. I don't know what they did, but they dialed in. Like, Resident Evil 2 remake is so good. It's amazing. Like, it is.
It helps that they remade one of the greatest games ever made.
Resident Evil, okay.
It helps that they based it on that.
Resident Evil 2 is a hard one for me because it was never my favorite. I never even considered it to be like that. It was too short. I never considered it to be like that good of a Resident Evil. I don't know why. And so, but I get it. Like, people really like it. But Resident Evil, like, it's so good. Like, they really polished it up. They fumbled a little bit with Resident Evil 3, and then Resident Evil 4's like remake is really good, but Resident Evil 4 itself was already just phenomenal. That would probably be one of the best games ever, in my opinion, is Resident Evil 4, and Resident Evil 4 remake is just top notch. But yeah, no, it's good. Oh, man. We could ask Gardner. I bet Gardner probably was busy doing something. He probably wasn't able to play a game this week, but
yeah, well, that's okay. That's okay. Gardner's busy right now. So
no, I know. I'm just trying to guess.
Yeah. Well, speaking of guessing, it's time to still guess. Yeah, stuff.
Still guess stuff. Well, before we start guessing, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff we're gonna be guessing, I think, in this episode, because we still don't have any official news on like the Steam Machine and all. But what we do have is a subscribe button at the bottom over there. If you're on YouTube, you can go subscribe to us if you have not done so. You can also follow us on our RSS feed at podcast.subscribe2.me, or you can engage with us on the Fediverse at Off the Console Show at podcast.subscribe2.me. We'll have some of those links in the description below. Now, with all that out of the way,
Join our Discord too.
We need to add that into the script. Yes, join our Discord. You could probably find it pretty easily in the description or just off the console. With that being said, the Steam hardware news. So there were, if you haven't noticed, if you've pulled up Steam in the past few weeks or past week or two, I can't remember when they start doing the hardware forums or whatever. They've been doing it for the past little bit, and we got some news from it, right?
Yes, finally, some news since like January. I mean, not January, since like November of last year. That's when they announced these things. We've gotten little tidbits and whatnot from like their interviews with various outlets and whatnot, but no concrete information. And truth be told, they didn't announce any concrete information aside from the fact that the current market situation is to blame for everything.
I feel like they had. I feel like when they did their announcement in November, they should have known kind of that it was coming. Like they should have known the beginning of last year when tariffs were being announced that there were going to be issues, and then Nvidia going hard into stuff. I feel like maybe they were a little preemptive with their announcements. Maybe they still claim it's going to come out in the first half of this year, so they've got a deadline of like June probably. Yeah. So let's do some clarifying here. I'm pretty sure I remember them saying it was going to be early 2026, right?
They did say
and
that,
then
yes.
People are moving the goalposts. They're like, well, early 2026 can be just the first half of 2026. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It means the first quarter.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that notion, because like April, I would say is still early, right?
No, I would not. You're well within 2026. It's not anything early about April. I'd even say March is a little. You're starting to get into. You're just into 2026. It's not early. I know I'm getting the semantics here, but I'm just saying, like, if you say early, it's going to be within the first few months, like the first 2 or 3 months, in my opinion. Anytime I've used like for work or whatever it is, anytime I've done any of this type of dates and timelines, I would not be putting like April into the early 2026 or April as early in the year, but that's just me. Semantics. I also just want it earlier too, so I'm going to complain about it.
So unfortunately, here's some things they've said specifically. So they wanted to share pricing and launch dates by now, but thanks to the market, they haven't been able to do so. They still plan on launching all 3 devices within the first half of the year. So, a deadline of June, of course. Aside from that, though, they have an FAQ. A lot of it is about the Steam frame. Will the Steam frame support other streaming services? Come on. It's running Linux. It's not gonna... Linux won't let you run past, like, 720p on most browsers.
On most browsers or, like, Netflix?
Like Netflix. And also, like, Disney Plus
doesn't let you? Okay.
And Hulu, too. I think most of them are limited to 720p on Linux. Which is some bullcrap, to be honest.
Yeah. That's definitely, I think, another win for just buying your games and having a server for them. Or not your games, your movies and shows.
I agree. But last time I tried to talk about any of that stuff, YouTube fucking gave me a copyright strike.
Well, I'm trying to be a little covert about it, but hopefully.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Just own your movies, man. Trust me, and run your own media server. Trust me, it'll be a lot easier. There are guides on how to do this on the internet.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely make the Steam Machine's not gonna be a good streaming device. The Steam Deck is a little different, and I've written some stuff to where you can before in the past where you could, like, I was some of the earliest software I wrote for a Steam Deck was so that you could watch Netflix and all that stuff in the game mode, but Yeah, and the deck doesn't support like HD or 4K. That is, it doesn't support to even 1080. It's a little bit lower, so it was fine on the Steam Deck. But if you're talking about plugging it into a TV and stuff like that, yeah, it becomes not as nice. And I'm curious, do you think high tech that they're going to fix that for the Linux anytime soon? Because it's obviously like an artificial cap on their side, right? It doesn't have anything to do with. Does it have to do with the specific? Because so with Chrome OS, and in order to use these streaming services, you usually need to use a signed version of Chrome OS that has the proper DRM to encode it. Is that what's hanging it up, or is it just them artificially limiting it on Linux?
A lot of it has to do with the fact that Google has not released the newest version of their DRM on Linux.
Right.
And so as a result, HD like 4K and like HDR and all of those fancy features rely on this new version of their DRM, which is not on Linux. So I suspect that it's Google artificially limiting things because Linux, I mean, you can watch stuff on a Chromebook at 4K if there was such a thing as a 4K Chromebook.
Okay, so you can watch it on there because it uses proprietary stuff, right?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And I mean, the DRM is also available on Windows, so you could, in theory, watch 4K on Windows.
Well, yeah, no, it's
through like the
Windows
app.
is always up to date, and potentially, even, and I think even Mac, but Linux is behind. So is this just because I don't know if it's ever been fully supported on Linux to have anything above 720?
Well, I mean, in theory, Google could do it. They could make the DRM available, and that would open the doors for like Netflix to allow 4K playback on Linux.
I just think they're dragging their feet. I think there's just like it could be market share. I don't think so because they already have a form of the DRM on Linux. I think maybe they're hesitant because they think more hackers on Linux. It's the whole thing with online games, right? Like Fortnite.
Yeah, I
mean, I think.
Yeah, man, don't you know all Linux users are hackers? That's why all of them run Kali Linux.
Yeah, no. I'm hoping it changes, but it looks like from the hardware, like from the Steam hardware survey, that Linux was a little bit on the downtrend. It wasn't as it didn't increase as much, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Let's pull up the Steam hardware stuff. I don't know anything about the Steam hardware survey. Yeah. So operating systems.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, we're looking at stuff. OS, Windows is up by quite a bit. Mac OS is up. Linux is down 0.2%.
Where is
overall?
That? Let's see here.
If you go to OS version and expand it, scroll down.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, this part you're probably gonna want to watch on YouTube.
We can shout out the numbers though, but yeah, Linux is down just by 0.20. It's not much. It's not a huge decline. It just means that more script kiddies are on Windows, meaning their parents maybe bought a bunch of pre-made stuff. It could be it.
So Baza, I feel, would be under Fedora Linux, I believe, because it's a Baza. It's not an OS of its own, but rather a pre-configuration, I believe, of Fedora Silverblue.
It's essentially a skin of Fedora, but I mean it's heavily optimized.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Bazite is. All of the Linux distros are pretty good. I don't see Catchy on here, which is interesting, but I think Catchy is supposed to be like
I
Linux?
guarantee you it doesn't have a big enough market share. There, you can see even Ubuntu is like struggling, at least to this version. That's the newer version though, so people are on the LTS version. Okay, that makes sense. I kind of wish they'd almost consolidate these Ubuntus into just one, but
into one.
That's interesting. I mean, Arch is, and this is probably a big part of Steam Deck, is the Arch, and it has the #1 market share, but it's all kind of looks like it's. I don't know if that's completely.
It's all
yeah,
Arch.
I don't know if that's completely fair, because that's just all together where you have Ubuntu's split up in 3 different separate. 26.
Let's look at Mac OS though. Mac has a lower. It's been a couple years now, but Mac has a lower market share than Linux.
Yeah.
Naturally, because you know Mac's not really for gaming.
No, but it can easily do it. Honestly, if they optimized, you can use crossover. So crossover, they're huge contributors to Proton and all that. And that's how they make their money is through crossover on Mac. And I actually pay for it. It does a pretty good job. There's a couple of hiccups, especially their newer version does a really good job. Like you can play pretty much anything on a beefy Mac, but I mean, it is expensive to get the Mac. But if games were optimized for Mac, they'd drastically destroy a lot of the mid-range Windows PCs. It's crazy.
Oh, well.
So they could be for Mac, but the problem is, I think 2 things, right? Macs are expensive, especially to get started. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Windows is still king. I will say, it is a little discouraging to see that Windows rose, even though the experience in Windows is degraded so poorly over the years that I'll still play games on Windows, but that's about it. I really don't like using Windows for anything else. I think the experience has gotten so bad that even me, where I don't care. Like, I didn't care about Windows 8. Like, I still used it. I had a beefy enough PC. I have been on Windows for so long, even though I've used Linux for work. I've used a lot of other operating systems on work, and I've had to use 2 different computers a lot through my career and through the years. But Windows has just gotten so bad that I'm over it. Like, they'd have to do a lot to get me back, because right now they're pretty much just treat us like pieces of shit, I think, at this point. Just as little guinea pigs. And I'm okay being treated as a guinea pig if it's not for slop crap, like, shitification. So it just every time I have an update in Windows, I don't know about you, High Tech, but every time it's just like another little icon that they add that I'm just not going to use.
I'm on Windows 10 still. I'm going to make the switch to Linux eventually, because honestly, I'm over Microsoft. But until that time comes, I'm going to stick to Windows 10. Security updates be damned.
Here you are running the most insecure operating system. Hopefully you don't get hacked. Nah, you'll be fine for a while. But yeah, I mean, what do you use on Windows that you need Windows for?
I'm just
I hear you on that. I mean, I still have my main computer. I've used Bazlight on it, but it had issues to where I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna figure a different way out for that. But yeah, Windows it is on the very much on the cusp. I only booted up to play Outer Worlds 2 because I want just a little bit better fidelity than like Steam Deck or Legion Go 2. But days are numbered, especially with the way everything's looking. I don't know. We have a lot of
right. So let's go back to the Steam hardware stuff, because there are some more questions here that we should address. Let's see. How can I can I request a Steam Frame developer kit? Yes, you can. Aren't you and Gardner are developers on Steam,
but if I had a game released that would make sense to have it be VR, like for Steam Frame, I could request one. Maybe they would give me one. Maybe. I do not have a game released, or 2, a game that is a VR game that I'm even working on. Gardner does not have a VR game And so I doubt they'd give him one. I bet you they only give it to the people that have VR games.
But what if Gardner wanted to develop a VR game today?
They're not going to be giving you something on wishes.
True that. Let's see. Will Steam Frame work with the Lighthouse base stations? Let's see. Modular, yada, yada, yada. It's not something we're working on, but we built it to be modular extendable, so it's in that community and third parties can build out the features. Yeah, man, that would suck if you buy into Valve's light base station thingies, and then like I don't think they make them anymore.
I think you're right. I think they don't. But here's the thing with the like, if the Steam Frame works 99% as good, or if it works better than using lighthouses, why have a lighthouse? Lighthouses are nice. They definitely add for accuracy, but I also they have their own hiccups. They're the most precise VR headset I've ever used. But if the Steam Frame can improve, like even get close to it, then I'd rather not have the lighthouses. I'll be personally, I just would.
I mean, that's totally fair.
They suck to set up, and they suck because you have to have a big enough room. So if you have small rooms in your house, they just like I can't have it in my office because I have my desk here. My wife's desk is over there, and even if it wasn't over there, it wouldn't be a whole lot of room to do VR. So.
And then let's see, there's two more questions. One is about foveated streaming, and another one is about the Valve Index in the future. All right, but let's move on to the Steam Machine questions. How well can the Steam Machine play newer and demanding games? They said in our testing, a majority of Steam titles play great at 4K 60 with FSR on Steam Machine. Look, they mentioned a frame rate target. That said, there are plenty of titles that require more upscaling than others, and so it may be preferable to play at a lower frame rate with VRR to maintain a 1080p internal resolution.
Yeah, I mean, it tracks, and then TVs still have some upscaling tech in them. I've played games off my Steam Deck on 4K TV that look amazing, so that were upscaling.
Let's see. There's also more too. Let's see. They're also working on HDMI variable refresh rate, investigating improved upscaling and optimizing ray tracing performance in the driver.
So they're
what could this mean?
They're hitting it from multiple angles. That means they're like optimizing ray tracing performance in the drivers is, I think, essentially saying that their drivers are not fully ready for for everything. And I think it's going to be a little bit like the Steam Deck when it comes out, where there'll be certain parts that are not fully optimized for like a TV or 4K. Because they spent so much time optimizing for a smaller screen and resolution with SteamOS and their drivers and and Proton and all that. So yeah, it means when this first comes out, don't expect it to hit everything really well, especially when ray tracing's involved, but give it a few months to a year, and I think we'll be pleasantly surprised with the new updates. So it's going to be one of those things. The first year we'll be seeing a lot of good improvements, and then it will even out. I definitely think this is going to be like console level in the sense of very optimized for a lot of games. And I think we'll be pleasantly surprised at how well things will look with the Steam Machine. It will have a very good shelf life. But if you're one of those people that like to up your games into high or the highest setting, I think you might be disappointed. So, of detail. That's kind of what I see.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, you really shouldn't have expected the Steam Machine to play like maximum ultra details with ray tracing on.
I mean, you'll be lucky to have ray tracing on half the time. If it's like Cyberpunk, we'll probably get there. Maybe that's one of the things they're optimizing for, because Cyberpunk's ray tracing is actually really good, and the way you optimize with FSR and ray tracing and all that, like it works out really well. Cyberpunk's a really good title for that. So it will be interesting to see where we go with that. They also mentioned what components of Steam Machine are upgradable. Steam Machine SSD and NVMe 2230 or 2280, and the
Yeah,
memory DDR5 SODIMMs are both accessible and upgradable, which is interesting because I think I can't remember if it's
those are the two parts that are screwing Valve over, to be honest.
what
Because yeah, so memory and also the SSDs, because both of which are going up in price.
it's going to screw over no matter what.
I mean,
there was no decision to be made
Yeah.
here that would have been proper, right?
Yeah, I know. It's just unfortunate, but
Yeah.
but yeah. So you can also 3D print faceplates. They're going to be sharing the CAD files at some point.
Yep. No, that's I mean, people are already kind of, I think, guessed it, and let's see. There's a couple of companies that already have faceplates that they're going to be releasing, I think, when this comes out. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So, check this out, though. The Steam controller section. Can I play non-Steam games with my Steam controller? It will work with any game compatible with the Steam overlay. That's it. That's the only question in that.
I mean, to
section.
be fair, the Steam controller is just—it's a controller that has a little bit of extra pieces to it. I don't know. I know it's the one that I'm least excited for because I already have controllers I like, but I'm trying to temper my expectations, so I'm hopefully love it when I get it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. A lot of it is the stuff they've been saying before about the Steam machine and the Steam frame and the Steam controller. They're going to use this blog to deliver additional updates, deep dives in specific features to updates. So, in theory, we should be expecting more news at some point. Hopefully, they're not going to launch more news like after we release this episode. That'd be kind of embarrassing.
I mean, we only go one day, so that'd be shocked. But yeah, it's man, I just surprised they don't have a release date yet. And I get it. It's the market and everything like that, but they should have had, like, if they were making the announcement and everything, they should have secured everything that they had, like parts. They should have been well within, like, towards the end of production, from my understanding, if they announced it in November or maybe mid portion of production. And so I'm a little worried that this time around we're going to be getting the announcement like a month, if we're lucky, before the release, and then you have a month before it's released, which I guess that's fine, but I just don't think they have a solid date, or else I think they would have let us know.
Yeah, and then it's also an interesting time to release the Steam machine, given word about this next generation Xbox coming out next year from AMD of all people.
Why from AMD? We can get to that. In fact, let's. Oh wait, we don't have new, like, we have the next Xbox, but that's the feature that Game Store. Okay.
Yeah. But also we can also talk about it too in the
okay
too. So yeah. So the next Xbox, AMD says it's coming out in 2027.
Interesting.
And that's the reason why, because they said a tentative release date. It's supposed to come out sometime next year, which is interesting because next generation consoles are supposed to be a lot better than the previous generation consoles.
It's usually the case. I think we're going to have quite a bit of diminishing returns this time around, but I think it still will be potentially pretty beefy. But with I mean, of course it is. The next Xbox is going to be like $1,000 PC, so.
It's also like 7 years into the future
from the original.
We shouldn't forget that last gen consoles came out like 2020. Current gen consoles came out 2020.
Agreed. But the funny thing is that we're still very much just getting away from the tech that it was used, because they use, like, AMD likes to hide, squirrel away their little bit of a tech that they'll use, like the newer tech on the consoles, and then we start using it like a year or two afterwards on like consumer, like beyond that, like for PC gaming. So I don't know. I think it's not going to be a very big upgrade. It will be, but it won't be. I know that sounds weird. I think it's going to be a big upgrade because they're going to increase the price, and so they can put more cores and everything else into it. So The architecture will be better and more efficient, but it'll be, I don't know. We're gonna have diminishing returns. It'll be interesting. I think Xbox in some ways is making a bad decision, but also the right decision. It sounds weird to emphasize less on the console and more on the ecosystem of the console, but I don't know. I mean, did you see that? Speaking of this, like the PlayStation 6, like there's patents for a digital controller for the PS6. Yeah.
Ugh.
That sounds horrible.
It does sound horrible. Honestly, man, it sounds like they're gearing towards playing mobile games.
Yeah, well, maybe because
like
everyone
Angry
is so
Birds.
like mobile, like millennials, Gen Z are gonna
The
die out
next
sometime, and so
Man, that would kill gaming for me if they switched to like virtual gamepad layouts.
would it kill gaming for you when you have the PC?
I don't know if I
Or
would.
would it?
Yeah,
kill the
that's
PS?
true. I do have a PC.
PlayStation 5?
I do have a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I don't have an Xbox. This is the first generation I don't have the Xbox, which is kind of funny. Just, do you have an Xbox, like the Series X or S?
My brother has a Series X.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
No, yeah. I mean, it's just, I've always had all the consoles and kind of slowly getting away from that. But
I mean, who needs all the consoles when you have the one console to rule them
Epic
all?
Games. No.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Epic Games. Yeah, putting on Xbox sure is gonna make. It sure is gonna change Epic Games' fortune.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Epic has given away games and all that. I don't think they did the right. Like, I could have written a much better user interface that had a lot less lag than what they wrote. And they even rewrote the Epic Game Store, I think, once or twice since they've released it. It still is not very good, and they're missing a lot of features that Steam has, which I know, I get it, but they probably would have been better, even though I do like that they give away the games, and I do think that even game devs, where they would have missed some revenue, has helped float some game devs too with that. But from a consumer side, they could have probably not given away so many games and spent so much money on that, and maybe spent that money on actually competing with Valve instead of, suing them all the time.
And the lawsuit, too.
Suing Valve and also these other, they should just improve their platform too and have better, they're working on it. It's just, there's no feature parity with the Epic Game Store and Steam. But yeah.
I mean, realistically, at this point, I think they've burned all the bridges, and I don't think there's much they can do to woo gamers into buying games on Epic. I mean, truth be told, they have acknowledged multiple times that their store is not, it doesn't have very many features compared to Steam. Yes. That said, we know Steam is undisputably the top dog in this industry, but can we really say Epic is indisputably the second in this industry, or GOG?
Epic, 100%. Sorry to say it, but GOG just is not quite on the same level. It could be in the future.
I get it,
but
I get it. I mean, if it weren't for Fortnite, I don't know if we'd still be saying the same
if
thing.
Fortnite didn't exist,
Fortnite exists.
Epic Games would not be a thing per se. Like, they've funded most of their past 10, 15 years on Fortnite, so.
Gee, man. I don't know, man. Do you think Fortnite's going to be a forever game like everything else these days that's still around?
It's the forever game. I would say it beats out Call of Duty and everything else in the sense of how long it will last, but...
Well, of course, Call of Duty's only ever last a year because of
No,
Microsoft.
I know, but they release a new one every year. Their pattern's a little different, but Call of Duties are starting to get like more and more, like I think people are getting a little bit more tired of it. Even, but they have a dedicated base. Same thing with Fortnite. Fortnite does seasons though, so they release new content. I don't know, a couple times a year. They had Simpsons last year, to keep it fresh and interesting for everyone. But it's not a. I just don't know. I think it will be around longer than Call of Duty. It'll be around longer than a lot of other games, but like, if it doesn't, it's gonna run out of content. And it will be interesting when it runs out of content in a few years, because I'm sure it's going to start. They're pretty much milking everything that they have. I mean, they got their Simpsons. I just don't know of too many IPs that they could work with at this point without having to go back through and repeat them. So, in a few years, I could see Fortnite kind of, maybe that's when they'll start dying down a lot. But don't know.
I mean, we shall see. I mean, honestly, that's probably why they started gearing Fortnite towards user-generated content, because they don't have to make content anymore. They can just let the users do it. And they have a bunch of official skins from a bunch of IPs that they know. And, I mean, Roblox isn't really a game at all. Roblox, there's no, like, main game of Roblox to speak of. Everyone just makes all the content on Roblox, and that works.
Yeah, it's definitely very different, but yeah, I get you. Fortnite has actually been going that way because they have their own Fortnite engine essentially. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it's a fork of the Unreal Engine.
Unreal. It's like Unreal for Fortnite or something.
Well, yeah, no, it's a dumbed down version to make a lot of content for Fortnite. It's still powerful. It's still really powerful. But maybe, I don't know. The complexities are much higher for doing it in Fortnite than in Roblox. Roblox is very much, it feels like, to be fair, it feels like modding back in the 2000s. And so I think it shows that kids and people playing Fortnite don't need the best graphical output. They just want fun games. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of going in a roundabout way on all this, but Epic, I mean, I think the new Xbox is gonna have all the stores on it, right? They're gonna have Steam, Epic, and I don't know about GOG, and who knows? I think the other publishers that have platforms, I don't know. I feel like those platforms are dying slowly, like Ubisoft's platform, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's a tough situation. They want to be on Xbox for sure. I mean, we've only heard rumblings that maybe the Xbox would maybe support third-party stores.
I think those pretty strong. I think it's pretty strong
yeah, it's pretty strong at this point.
Because we saw screenshots and everything from them. I don't know if they meant to leak it or not, but it had the stores in it. So,
yeah, I mean, at this point though, it's almost all but straight up confirmed that the Xbox is going to have multiple stores. The big question is, will this save either Xbox or Epic?
I don't know if Xbox needs to be saved per se. They've pivoted to a game publisher essentially. So,
I mean, right, but like, will this make people want to buy Xboxes?
Probably not. I think the rebranding, they see it that they want to make PC console, I think is how they're rebranding it now, right? I think according to rumors, like strong rumors, the next Xbox it will be purely like a Windows shell. So it's going to be using Windows 11 underneath. It's not going to be using like a fork of Windows that's heavily like pruned of all the extra shit. I think it's going to be, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting, from a like interest standpoint, I'm excited for the next Xbox, as it's going to be more of a PC, but I'm curious how that's going to play with like PlayStation, and if it will keep them from competing, or if they're just going to be pushing this off onto a lot of other third parties like they've been doing with ROG Ally. the next Xbox will be an interesting one. This is definitely going to be a huge pivot. Like, we're already seeing a huge pivot that's going to, I think, disrupt the console space a little bit, but we'll see. Maybe we'll end up with Nintendo and PlayStation as being the only true consoles in the future.
That would be crazy too. Also, like, I could see Sony being kind of upset with Steam and Epic going to Xbox because, I mean, they sell games on both. There are PlayStation games on both Epic
yeah,
and
they
Steam.
can shove it. Honestly, if Sony wants to be upset, they can shove it because they've made $5 or $6 billion from it, so they can just f off. Like, I'm tired of these multi-billion-dollar companies just acting this way. So they've made did you see they've said releasing games on Steam, the Sony games on Steam, they've made about $5 to $6 billion from it. That's extra. That's after it's all like, that's not including the console sales or anything. That's just extra. If they didn't do that, they would not have made that much money. That's a lot of freaking money. So
I don't know, man. It's an interesting situation. Epic Games, they want to be. We're getting a new Xbox, and we're getting not just a new Xbox. We're getting new storefronts and new Xboxes. I don't know, man. It's crazy,
but I mean, how excited were you about the Xbox One and the Xbox Series? Like, they needed to do some type of pivoting. I don't think they were going. Like, I think it would have been better if they would have gone into more innovative hardware and like specialty controller. But you know, this is also an interesting take, in my opinion. It's not going to be the same Xbox, though, brand. Like, it's just not the same thing. And I think it's going to piss off a lot of people, but it might bring some other people in where they're like, I'm kind of done with like gaming from a standpoint of console maybe or on the PC, but they still want to use all their games on the PC. And just like, because I have a couple of friends where they get kind of tired of having to manage everything on their PC when they want to play a game, and they just want to be able to pull up a game and play it right away. If Xbox can do that and have cheaper games, they're 100% probably going to buy an Xbox. I can see that.
And honestly, having all these third-party stores really puts the new Xbox in direct competition with the Steam
It does,
machine.
and in fact, it makes it better for a lot of people. If, like, for me, I have like 100 plus free games on Epic Games, and some of them are really good. If I bought the next Xbox, I'm gonna talk myself into this on accident. If I buy the next Xbox, I'll be able to play. If it has Steam and Epic Games on it, that alone will be able to allow me to play pretty much every game I have, with the exception of some emulation stuff. But yeah.
It's going to be a hard sell for most people because, you know, most people want the Steam machine as like their entry point into PC gaming. But like the existence of this Xbox supporting both Steam and Epic Games, it really puts them in a direct competition, and it makes the Steam machine an even harder sell than it already
I
is.
think the Steam machine will do well this year. I have a feeling, but unless Xbox, like if Xbox / Microsoft like comes out with some new info, like let's say the Steam machine launches and they're like, okay, pre-order and everything, and the Xbox is like, hey, you like that? Well, for $200 more, because the Steam machine's gonna be $800, we're gonna charge $1,000, but you'll get 3 times the performance. That would be very hard for me to be like, well, maybe I should wait. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the all-important price for both of these things. And truth be told, no good price. I mean, damn, what would happen? What would happen if they were within like striking distance of one another?
Well,
I can see there being
the new predictions from at least PC Gamer are thinking around $800 now. After that, all the stuff they've seen and everything on it, like it's. Yeah. I think their original, the original estimate was $529 for the 512, and they're thinking. I think nowadays we're looking at that was then. Nowadays you're looking at around $900 for something similar, and even the rarity of 1,000 for a 9060, though more powerful. So they're even like really second guessing. Like they're thinking, after reading this a little bit, that it's going to be probably 700, 800, maybe 900 for the Steam machine. We'll see. We'll see. If it's that will not bode well. And maybe that's why Valve has been struggling to release stuff on it, because they know that they're going to be in a hard place. And I really think with these like if it's over $500 and with people not getting raises, with the economy not doing well, we're going to be hitting this next generation being, I think most gamers, like 70%, will choose one device. They will not have multiple.
Yes. So I am of the opinion that Valve, as you know, Valve has claimed that they're not going to subsidize this like a console. But I think it's not too late to reconsider Valve. I think they could save it and reach that coveted $500 price point if they were to just subsidize it. Yeah, I get it. They can't guarantee that every Steam Machine buyer will buy.
They make
Steam
so much
games.
money. It doesn't matter. They just
but they make
it's an investment, and companies used to invest where they'd be like, okay, we're going to lose, but we know in the long run it's going to work out, and not everyone that buys a Steam Machine is going to buy into that. But they make so much money right now, they don't need to worry themselves about it. They're not needing to worry about stockholders. It's crazy. Like, Gabe Newell doesn't need another yacht. They could just, forgo one yacht and they could subsidize the whole thing. That's probably how much those yachts cost.
Like, realistically, I think what Valve wants is the living room. They want the living room. They want more market share. And I think, putting on the new, like, $1,000 Xbox or whatever, I don't know how much it's going to cost. That's a good start. But making the Steam Machine much cheaper, like let's say $500, because that's the price that I think most people would be willing to pay. I think if they were to subsidize and think of the I will admit, eating a loss, not very great when you planned on making a profit. But
they need us. Like, I don't know why they were thinking they were going to why they'd want to make a profit. They can either have the Steam Machine be successful, or they can have a little bit of a profit. It's not going to be much. Those are the two things. But and Valve usually in the past, and maybe they've gotten much greedier over the years, in the past they cared much more for innovation and for changing kind of like the way things work in both games and hardware industry more than a profit. And I think that's a big reason why we've gotten here. They've played the long game, not the short game. So I
don't know, but I don't think it's too late for Valve to reconsider.
If it's about profit, man, I don't think they're not going to care, because they're like, well, if the Steam Machine flops, we still have the Xbox. Like, if Steam's on the Xbox, which why would they not have it on there if they care about profit? They'll make a ton of money off that. So,
well, the issue though now is that Epic is talking to guys at Microsoft, and we know Epic kind of just hates Steam overall.
Yeah. It is really weird. Like, they have, I mean, and some of the leadership in a lot of these companies are going to start phasing out in the next 10 years, maybe 20. So we'll see. I
mean, Tim Sweeney, let's think about it. All of the dumb shit that Epic's done is mostly in spite of Steam. Yes. And they do it because Tim Sweeney personally hates Steam.
He has a vendetta. I don't even get his vendetta. I get it and I don't get it. But, like, I don't know, man.
Tim Sweeney's also another billionaire, too. Let's be
Oh, yeah. Frank. He's a billionaire. Like, they're all billionaires. Everything's controlled by billionaires these days, which is unfortunate, too. But, yeah.
Now, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Epic, if Tim Sweeney were to be petty enough, they could block Steam from being on this Xbox.
Epic could? I don't think they have enough pull for that.
I don't think so either. But I think it could be like either you block Steam or Epic Games is not coming to Xbox or something.
Maybe,
like
but Xbox would be much better off with Steam on it. And Valve, even though they have a rocky relationship with Microsoft at times, they still have a pretty good relationship with Xbox and Microsoft, from my understanding. And I mean, I don't know. Too bad Gabe. I think Gabe sold all his Microsoft stock, but like, Gabe's one of the first 200 employees of Microsoft. So he kind of
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's kind of crazy to say that he's a founding member
Yeah.
of Microsoft, but like, I mean, yeah, he was there. They recruited him. He was at Microsoft.
That's
and then
how he was able to get him and his
I
partner
think-
at the time. That was how they were able to fund Valve and why we have Steam.
yeah, like I think it was Mike Harrington was the other guy.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Apparently he doesn't. I think he quit Valve early on, like
He
before
did.
the Steam
He
era.
he did.
Man, I mean, I get that it's not all about money, but I would be kicking myself if that happened to me, if I did that.
They had millions, like I think tens of millions, and if they just put some of it in the stock market, he's a billionaire probably. So who knows? But
I don't know.
because back then,
yeah.
all you'd have to do is throw in a couple million into Apple or something, and you would be a billionaire now. I'm sure.
Yeah, surely someone will save the PC industry.
It's
I wonder.
well, save the PC industry. Like, I don't think we're in like a horrible state right now. We're just in a very weird state, meaning we run the risk. And I say like, if you're a PC builder, you're definitely going to be endangered soon because
All right.
I don't think building PCs. I think they're phasing that out essentially. I really do. I think in
Man,
the
I would be
next
so
10 years,
pissed off.
I don't think you're going to have PC building be a thing.
Oh no, that oh no. I enjoy the art.
I
of
do
PC building too.
I do
That's the
too,
thing,
but we'll see. I don't know if it's going to fully die off,
see.
but if the next generation doesn't care about it as much, which it's kind of showing, like we're slowing down a little bit. So,
Man, screw the next generation.
well, and also the stuff we're building, like my 3090 still works great. I don't know if it just definitely seems like Nvidia, AMD, they have so many other things that are profitable more so than the consumer side of like graphics cards and CPUs. CPUs probably will still continue to be a thing, but like graphics cards, like Nvidia doesn't sound like they're going to be doing another generation for. They say they're not going to do
At least
another
2
generation
years.
for a while, but I could see them just not doing another generation. They just don't want all the flag.
All right.
Sorry.
But
Doom and
here's
gloom.
my thing. Here's my thing. So the Steam machine may be in trouble thanks to RAM, but do you think Chinese RAM will save them?
Chinese RAM. No, maybe. Is that what this next one is? Yeah.
Yes. Leading PC manufacturers are considering using Chinese memory chips, whereas historically, they've always used either Samsung or Micron or SK Hynix, and definitely not Chinese memory.
So, I mean, this is competition. This is what you get with capitalism. I don't know why people could get upset about this, except for Chinese manufacturers.
Well, it's because China. Well, it's because they say China bad, but like,
Yeah.
I get a lot of the flack, especially in regards to like stuff that we probably can't talk about.
It'd be better
On
in
the
the
channel.
spicy episode. Yeah. No. I'll say this. What's happened in the past few years in the United States, and even our past, like we're not saints. No, I don't think any country is particularly a saint. So you can say Chinese bad, but they're becoming more and more, I guess, like if you like capitalism, they're becoming more and more capitalistic with this type of stuff. But
I mean, a lot of communist countries are quote unquote communist outside of like North Korea.
I don't think Chinese. I
have
don't
always
even know if
been
Chinese
increasingly-
government considers themselves really communist anymore. They might be in the name, but
I mean, yeah, they're communist in
Yeah,
name.
they're
That's
not.
what I'm saying. Like Vietnam is also the same way too. They're like Vietnam is a communist country, but they don't like. But they
they've
aren't,
softened
like,
to be more
North Korea.
socialist.
They're more social. They're more capitalist. I would in some regards
Yeah,
too.
well, like capitalism, socialism, it can go hand in hand. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, But would you think? Do you think Valve would cozy up and buy some CXMT memory to soften some of this soften some of this up?
Well, and here's where I was kind of going with the Chinese they've gotten much better, but they tend to make, it's kind of famous, like made in China, China, and it falls apart. It's not very good and all that. They don't have as good of vetting processes in the past. I'm curious, and this is where they need to sell me on this Chinese-made RAM. Are they being as scrupulous as Samsung is with their testing and making sure that I don't have my RAM fail? That's what I care about. Once they can verify that, then I don't know if I care so much. Because...
Well, that's a good question. I know that HP and Dell are trying to see if these Chinese memories, if it holds up against, like, it holds up as well as, like, Samsung.
I don't think they care about that. I mean, HP and Dell in the past have not been famous for their quality and longevity. So, I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it has to hit a certain threshold. Otherwise,
well, of course it does. Of course it does. But I don't think their thresholds are very high. That being, I have a feeling they'll be fine. In fact, this will hopefully scare Samsung into maybe doing some more, and not. It's kind of bad that we have almost one company producing everything. That's not from just a redundancy standpoint, and from like development wise, and like software or even computer, from the engineering side of things. That's bad. You want redundancy.
Well, if you're concerned about whether or not these will be as good as Samsung memory, do remember that Samsung employees have leaked the tech to this Chinese company, CXMT. So at the very least, it may be as good as Samsung's.
Oh, they've leaked it? Oh, is that what...
Man,
am I just like crazy? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't an earlier... We talked about this earlier,
yeah.
But essentially...
I forgot.
Yeah, but yeah, essentially they leaked millions of losses in won, Korean won.
Yeah, I don't know. I have such a hard time with it sucks because I'm sure a lot of that tech is newer and they had to put a lot of research into it. But there's no other competition. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being completely honest with you, it sucks for Samsung, but they can
I mean, I agree with that because at the end of the day, everything's getting more expensive, and Samsung by not increasing production is showing that they don't really want to. They're playing the mean game capitalism, which if you're just going to screw us over, then screw you. So I agree with you on that.
The other question, though, is SSDs, because SSDs coming out these days are insanely expensive. There's a Samsung there's a SanDisk 1 terabyte Optimus GX Pro. It's replacing the Western Digital Blacks PCIe 5. 1 terabyte is $500.
Yeah.
2 terabytes is $1,000. 4 terabytes is $2,000. You get the idea.
I bought some SSDs last year, and because like I said, I was like, maybe I'll sell my Legion Go 2, but I have 4 terabytes in that thing, and I'm like, maybe I won't.
What you just have SSDs still in their packaging, still lying around?
No, not technically. I did have that 4 terabyte in the packaging for like a month, but I actually do. I do have a couple, but they're not new. I have a couple of
What are they, like PCIe 4? Or are they just
They're just used, 512 and 1 terabyte from just upgrading Steam Decks and all the other stuff throughout the years. I could probably do something with them.
I mean, yeah, man, I'm trying to find some SSDs, cheap SSDs for my system. All of my... Because alright, so I think I have an all SSD NAS, right?
Yes.
But I bought PCIe 3... months ago, because it was cheaper, and also my device didn't support anything higher than PCIe 3, so I mean, it makes sense. But finding a PCIe 4 or 5 has been a nightmare, and it's the last expensive part I need to get, aside from a new GPU is not going to be on the market for a while, to be honest.
Have you built your computer? Are you collecting the parts, or are you just upgrading your computer?
I'm collecting the parts.
So you just have them setting there. So you just need an SSD, and you don't have
an SSD.
One?
I'd like it. Well, I don't have one lying around that I can just take out of a machine. At this point. At this point, though, I'm also trying to find one for my brother as well, since he's also doing this. He's also building it with me as well, so he's gonna build one of his own as well. Aside from that, though, I mean, we also just need an AIO, a CPU cooler, and also a case. But I mean,
those aren't going to be too hard, but
yeah, they're not. They're not.
Yeah, I would definitely. You might just have to go with I don't know, an older, not as good SSD for like a couple. Like if the Chinese companies is ramping up, I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know if it's in the article. Should be memory shortage continue well beyond the second half of this year. So you might have to wait until next year to get your hands on something that's going to be affordable if you don't want to spend, an extra $400 on SSD but you've already got the RAM, right? So
yeah, I've got the RAM. I may actually get that at a good price, actually.
Yeah, so
yeah, I mean the big question now is whether or not I can find an SSD. I mean, I'm replacing this old PC, so I could just take the old SSDs out of mine and just stick it in and rock with
probably
that for
what
a
I'd
little bit,
recommend
but
doing, unless you really want to spend a lot of more money. I don't know.
We shall see. But I mean, honestly, that's basically my only concern at this point with my PC, because I can get a case in SSD, a case in CPU cooler at any point in time, because I have everything else.
Yeah, it's.
But then, now, Chinese brands, I don't think they've proven themselves to be as reliable in terms of like SSDs, because there are plenty of fake Chinese SSDs out there. That's the other thing too with this too. I'm sure CXMT actually makes like high bandwidth memory or DRAM, but you're gonna have to do a lot to convince people that Chinese electronics aren't just fake.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let's see. Oh.
I don't know if you can make fake Chinese DRAM. Fake Chinese EV. Nah, that's better.
No, there's maybe it's SSD, but
dude, you're it's pulling results for. Yeah, it's fake SSD
for sure.
For
I have seen a RAM one too, but it's they're considered SD.
Okay. Buying a 4 terabyte for like $14 is obviously going to be fake. But then you don't know if they're going to sell
right here. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have
clicked. With like a heat sink in it.
It's just SD cards thrown into there, and people are buying these like really cheap ones. They're like, I'm getting so much good stuff, and it's just SD card. So it's going to be super slow.
That's like one of those like external ones, though. You can tell by the USB port.
Yes. Right? This one's an external one. They have internal ones that they've been able to fake. So
yeah, that's what I'm concerned about, whether or not they can do that.
Well, they can, but you'll know right away if it's good or not. Like it's going to be really slow. But it's happening a little bit more, especially on these like I don't know, AliExpress maybe. But so just be careful. Like if it's really cheap, if you think you're getting a really good deal, especially for new, I would be very wary of it. Just as a heads up, everyone.
Yes. Will China save the SSD market too? That's what I want to know. Probably not, right?
It could. So at the end of the day, this could this is going to go one of two ways. It's going to either really screw over, like once again, it potentially could just be another nail in the coffin of building your own PC, kind of PC gaming, and we're just going to be going to all-in-one devices that have some upgradability.
Or the cloud.
It will. We'll see with the cloud. We'll see. I think it's going to drive. It's probably going to be kind of a little bit of a split, but some people are going to go to the cloud. I think some people are just going to stick with, like, I'm even kind of getting to that point where I like an all-in-one device, but like if I could put an eGPU onto it, awesome. But then again, I have a big all-in-one Mac Studio that does everything I need it to. It's just gonna put another nail in the coffin, I think, for building your own PC. I think there'll be other stuff. I'm just like guessing too much here. Just to kind of put it this way, I think either we have competition, it kind of revives everything, or this is our life for the next 5 to 10 years, and it's just going to heavily show that we're going to have to just get all-in-one PCs like Steam Machine in the future.
Man, what a Debbie
I don't
Downer,
mean
man.
to be, but this is why you can't have everything consolidated into one company, and you can't have one company buying everything too. Like, so proper capitalism should have competition, and I think this is where the crux is, like we've talked about multiple times. This, like, DRAM, a lot of these, even with CPUs and all that, like, it's really hard for a new company to get into the sphere and to compete, because this is decades of work and a lot of proprietary stuff that has patents on it. So they can't get into it unless they have to go through and do a lot of work to catch up. So in order to create like this RAM with the precision it needs, it requires a lot of upfront costs that China could do because they have a lot of technology to do it, but we'll see. Here's hoping. I'm hoping that the Chinese companies can pull it off, because no one else is, and that they're not taxed so heavily that, you know, it's just the same. And I have a feeling they're just going to get taxed. So.
Wow, that would be crazy.
Other
man.
companies, I think other countries will do fine with it, and it's just going to push America even more and more out. We're just going to be, like, just for being a citizen and living here, we're going to be screwed for no reason. for no reason, just because our president doesn't like us, essentially. So,
man, this sucks, man.
Welcome to the new world. But
well,
I you know, on the flip side, I think there's a lot of good games coming out. I think there's a lot of good stuff, and you'll be able to play it on your all-in-one. It's just, if you're a PC gamer, you know, it's, yeah. So on a lighter note, Toyota, I guess it's a lighter note, I don't know. Toyota is developing a console-grade open-source game engine using Flutter and Dart.
I don't really know what to say about this besides it's a thing that's gonna happen. They claim that they looked at a bunch of other engines, like they looked at Unreal and Unity. They claimed they were too heavy, resource dependent, and also, like, well, you know, proprietary with licensing fees. They also claimed to have looked at Godot, and they found Godot to apparently be resource heavy with long start times. Is that true?
No. It depends. So it can be, but they're wanting a game engine that is specified, that is specific, I'm assuming, for running on their car, like in their cars, right? That's the only thing I could think of. So I don't think they're getting into the game industry too much. I'm assuming they want something that's for their cars. Now, Flutter and Dart, I've written a lot of stuff in the past in Flutter and Dart. Well, Dart's the programming language. Flutter is the essentially the UI portion of it. Like the engine, essentially, is decent. It's not bad, but who's going to write a full game in a custom, like this custom engine called Fluorite that's on top of Flutter and Dart? Maybe they chose it because their UI that for Toyotas, maybe they build it in Flutter. It is very mobile friendly. On the flip side, I don't want to get into too much nerd talk, but this is, I don't know if it's going to go very far. I think Godot was the right decision. Is what they should have done is forked Godot and make a much lighter version for their cars, and then they could have started and then they're like, hey, and make it like a whole port and like kit for people that build games in Godot to port over to the car. That would have been the right decision. Or, you know, worked directly with Epic or with Unity to maybe do something that would port over. So this is weird.
I don't know, but I mean, it's interesting. More options for game engines is not a bad idea.
Yeah, but this is a bad idea. I mean, I'll say that right now. This is a bad idea because it is a game engine for a car company, not for a car. It's not. I don't think. I'm sure it'll be open source, but it's going to be.
Well, it says it's going to be open source.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is a bit of an unusual turn of events. But they unveiled that FOSDEM as well, so you know this is gonna be free and open source.
Well, I say because you know it's all the productions are going to be done on Toyota systems, and so another car company, in order for it to work, another car company or another company is going to have to be able to port it to a different system, right?
Wait, right. Wait, FOSDEM was that? Damn, that was that one convention that Gardner was going to go to, but couldn't because of the stupid storms.
Yep. It's,
wow.
They're going to be integrating Jolt physics, by the way, which is what's used in Godot. So, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to be like a bad engine that they're making. It's just not going to be used by anyone. I just, in the sense of if they want a game company or a dev studio to make something, they doubt it. They'll maybe make some internal games, but those never turn out good.
Well, I mean, let's wait and see. I'm willing to give it a shot as long as a game comes out. That's probably the problem though. Someone has to actually move from an existing game engine or opt to use Toyota's game engine.
That's why I don't think third party is going to happen. I think it's going to have to be a first party title. It's bizarre, and then on top of that, you have to own a Toyota. So,
what?
I think it's only going to be like they're only going to like what other. So, it's interesting because let's see here. Toyota's in-vehicle home screen already has embedded Flutter runtime with Yocto, Linux, and Wayland, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure they were using Flutter. That is used in production on some of their vehicles like the Toyota RAV4. I don't think if someone uses this engine anytime soon that they're going to be... I guess they'd try to port it to PC. I don't know. I just don't get why... with Godot as an option, I just don't get doing a whole new system in Flutter, and Flutter has its own issues. Trust me on that.
All right, well, that was fun.
Sorry,
I don't have much to say
know.
about this besides
It's interesting.
I thought it was interesting.
It's interesting. I love the topic, but you're going to get me very cynical because Flutter is one of those technologies I dropped years ago because I got really frustrated trying to use it on Steam Deck because I was writing a client for Steam Deck for it, and I got really frustrated and switched.
Was it that app that you were trying to write like years ago?
I mean, I successfully wrote it. I just didn't keep up with it. It needs to be updated. I wrote one version Flutter, and it worked okay, but I couldn't get the... it just doesn't integrate with Linux and with Chrome OS very well, and I'd have to do a lot more customization, so I got tired of that and just went to a different system that's JavaScript based, that's very common, that like Discord uses and a bunch of other ones. But yeah, it's fascinating to see this. I'm hoping that it's better than Godot, because I like Godot, but it has its own issues, but it's also open source and they could fix those probably pretty easily if they wanted to. So we'll see. This will be interesting. I'll look into it some more and not be so cynical. It's just every time I get excited about stuff like this, I always get disappointed. So I'm running off of just all my past memories. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much wrapped up for this episode. It's going to be a shorter one. We miss Gardner's input and everything, right? And so it would have extended a little bit more, but... if there's anything else, I guess we missed this year, let us know, or this week, I mean, let us know in the comments. Maybe we'll cover it next time, especially if it's ultra big. I'm sure there's something there. If not, we'll see you in the bonus episode. High Tech, what do you think?
Hell yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for doing everything. And make sure to like, subscribe, do all that stuff on whatever platform you're listening/watching us on. You guys are awesome and keep this podcast going. Thank you. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace out.
Later.